Outback opal hunters uncovered bizarre discovery during excavation. Opal hunters hit more than just gemstones. You won't believe what they've discovered. When these daring hunters set out to unearth precious opals, they could never have imagined stumbling upon this. The earth shook and a bizarre discovery emerged that is challenging everything we thought we knew about the mysterious Outback. Scientists, historians, and treasure enthusiasts are all baffled. What could be so shocking? Well, you'll need to see it to believe it. In the breathtaking landscapes of Lesotho, Africa, a group of international businessmen is taking on an ambitious venture. Led by the entrepreneur and adventurer Peter Jago, the group aims to mine diamonds in an area with a rich geological history. About 1 billion years ago, a colossal volcanic eruption occurred in the Lesotho Mountains. This eruption brought to the surface a unique type of magma that was laden with gemstones. Over years, these gemstones, particularly diamonds, were dispersed into the river valley below. Surprisingly, this river, with its potentially bountiful treasures, remained unprospected until now. The group, having acquired the much-coveted concession to mine in this area, is setting out on an expedition to unearth these ancient gemstones. The quest is not just a pursuit of wealth, but also a venture into the unknown, as they unravel the secrets the land keeps for billions of years. In order to successfully complete this perilous mining mission, Peter Jago and his crew must first accomplish the difficult task of constructing the world's highest alluvial diamond mining operation in the rough terrains of the mountains in Lesotho. The location, which is frequently referred to as the Roof of Africa, presents enormous challenges in terms of both logistics and operations. The group has to navigate perilous mountain paths while carrying heavy equipment and supplies. Additionally, they have to establish a base in the area that has very little infrastructure. Diamonds are recovered through the alluvial mining process from riverbeds, where they have been deposited after being carried there by water currents over time. In this high-altitude setting, the team will need to adapt traditional alluvial mining techniques in order to work effectively despite the high altitude, which makes it difficult to access water resources as well as the unpredictable weather conditions. Not only will the success of the expedition be determined by whether or not diamonds are discovered, but also by how well the team is able to deal with the difficult environment and the obstacles it presents. International businessmen and businesswomen with very little to no previous experience in the mining industry make up the members of the group that is leading this ambitious venture. However, there is a significant lack of expertise in the mining industry, which is a risk factor. Mining requires highly specialized knowledge and abilities in geology, engineering, and logistics, particularly when carried out in an environment as harsh as this one. The lack of knowledge can lead to an inefficient resource allocation, safety hazards, and a failure to recognize or extract valuable resources. All of these problems can be avoided by acquiring the necessary information. In spite of these obstacles, the group's fervor and doggedness can be seen as a driving force in the organization. They are taking a leap into the unknown, and the fact that they come from a variety of backgrounds gives them the potential to approach challenges with unique points of view. However, it is absolutely necessary for them to additionally seek advice from people who are knowledgeable in the mining industry and train themselves adequately in order to reduce the risks. In order for this high-stakes expedition to be successful, it will be necessary to strike a delicate balance between utilizing the commercial savvy of these business owners and acquiring the necessary mining expertise as well as knowledge of topography and environmental factors of the area. The Andes present enormous geological obstacles for mining companies looking to exploit their resources. The Andes Mountains stretch for more than 7,000 kilometers and encompass a diverse range of landscapes and climates due to their length. The Andes Mountains present an imposing test for any mining activity, as they contain an assortment of landscape types, including snow-covered tops, high elevation levels, thick woodlands, and desert regions. The high heights can make it challenging for apparatuses to work proficiently and furthermore present potential well-being dangers to laborers because of their lower levels of oxygen at those elevations. Moreover, the region is seismically dynamic, and that truly intends that there is a continuous gamble of tremors which can place individuals' lives in peril and obstruct the same old thing. The rugged terrain can make transportation and logistics extremely difficult, especially considering that roads are frequently inaccessible as a result of landslides or adverse weather conditions. In order to overcome the difficulties presented by the region's topography, mining in the Andes requires meticulous planning, significant investments in infrastructure, and stringent adherence to safety protocols. It is possible for mining in the Andes to have significant negative effects on the local environment. In order to extract minerals from the earth, it is often necessary to alter the landscape, remove vegetation, and use chemicals that have the potential to pollute the air and water sources. The environmental impact can be particularly devastating in the Andes, which are known for having ecosystems that are frequently fragile as a result of the extreme conditions. For instance, the mining of gold and copper typically requires significant quantities of water, which can lead to the depletion of local water sources upon which communities and ecosystems are dependent. Moreover, the synthetic compounds that are utilized in the extraction cycle, like cyanide for gold filtering, can possibly defile the water, which puts the soundness of people as well as seagoing life in danger. Moreover, mining can cause deforestation, which can thus prompt soil disintegration and avalanches, the two of which further undermine the climate. To keep mining in the Andes while additionally safeguarding the locale's extraordinary biodiversity and biological systems, it is basic that mindful and naturally cognizant mining rehearsals be established. The Andean mining industry can add monetary development, yet it likewise makes various social issues that should be tended to. Communities that are located in close proximity to mining sites may be relocated in order to make way for operations. In many cases, these communities will not receive adequate compensation, nor will they be consulted. Because many of the local populations have traditionally relied on agriculture and natural resources for their livelihoods, which may be negatively impacted by mining. This displacement can result in loss of those populations' means of subsistence. In addition, the influx of workers from outside the region can occasionally lead to social tensions as well as an increase in the rates of criminal activity. In spite of the fact that mining can result in the creation of new jobs, the local population frequently lacks the necessary skills. This outcomes in the neighborhood populace being in a difficult situation concerning business valuable opening doors. Moreover, regardless of the way that mining organizations can pay eminences and expenses to nearby legislatures, these assets are not generally used in a proficient way to increase the expectation of living of the networks that are situated there. And that's all for today's video. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so if you want to watch more videos just like this one.